Not many of the great post-war British movie stars find box office fame in their early 40s, yet the gravel-voiced, charming yet bulldog-spirited Jack Hawkins did just that. Join me, historian Robbie Maguire, as we run down 5 of Jack's greatest war film turns. We kick off our list with 1952's Angels 1-5, which is one of the first British films to tackle the story of the Battle of Britain after the war ended in 1945. Hawkins played the lead role of Group Captain Tiger Small. In typical Hawkins style, he played a no-nonsense authority figure, which had become over his career the kinds of roles he was most known for. The film performed well at the box office and earned over £140,000 and was nominated for 2 BAFTA awards. Hawkins recalled his time on set in his 1973 autobiography, Anything for a Quiet Life. This proved to be the part that set my feet on the road. I don't know whether I altogether cared for the road, leading to a whole series of service parts. Over the next few years, I played enough senior officers to stock the whole Ministry of Defence. Our favourite part of the film is where Tiger defiantly stares down oncoming Luftwaffe bombers assaulting his airfield with a set of twin Lewis guns. A fine film, like much other British war films of the time, that superseded budgetary restraints for stiff upper lipness and fine script writing and delivery from its cast. Angels 1-5 is an often overlooked film, but it's well worth seeking out for the Hawk in RAF dress blues. Coming in at number 4, it's 1952's The Planter's Wife, which sees Hawkins playing a rubber plantation owner during the Malayan emergency. He co-stars alongside Claudette Colbert as the pair attempt to defend their home from a communist insurgency. Hawkins plays the role of Jim Fraser in a fatherly, stern manner, in a role that was originally offered to Sir Michael Redgrave of Dam Busters fame. We recently reviewed the film on the podcast, and you can find a link to it in the biography below. Jack recalled the filming process at Pinewood Studios in 1952. We did not leave Pinewood Studios for one single day, although the outside work was done with that rather cheating technique of back projection, by which the action is played out against a screen showing moving pictures of locations. What made it all the more absurd was the fact that we were filming in the middle of winter, and dressed only in a bush shirt and shorts, I was permanently frozen. Despite the cold of the studio shooting, the film does have a certain charm to it, and highlights a post-war British military campaign that are seldom seen films produced around it. See 1969's The Virgin Soldiers for a more comedic take on the emergency. The sequence with Hawkins and Claudette defending their farmhouse in the final act with Bren guns, Mills bombs and revolvers is very well shot, and gives Jack a little action hero flair, something he seldom got to do in his career. See his charge in Waterloo or the bank robbery scene from 1960's League of Gentlemen for some more Hawkins heroics. The film did well domestically in the UK, but failed to set the American box office alight, earning around $90,000. The film has seen a recent reappraisal, and is now seen as one of the films that led Hawkins to cement himself as a bona fide star within the UK and overseas. We jump into the 60s now with Zulu, directed by Cy Enfield, a film perhaps best remembered for giving Michael Caine one of his first big breaks. By the mid-1960s, Hawkins had seen his star rise in the late 50s and was cast in a myriad of big roles in major British and Hollywood features, although this time he would play a supporting role as the drunken Swedish missionary Otto Witt, based at Rorke's Drift. Despite this smaller role, he still received second billing alongside Stanley Baker, proving he was still a major pull with audiences. Jack's turn in Zulu is against type. He plays Witt with the swagger of a man who's just taking a quick snifter of the hard stuff when nobody's looking. He also has some great scenes with the Redcoats, and yells the immortal line, "You're all going to die here." The Bridge on the River Kwai may be best remembered as an Alec Guinness-led film, but the 1957 epic proved to be a rare American studio picture in which Hawkins played a major role, as Major Warden of Force 316, who leads a team of commandos tasked with bringing down the titular bridge, with Jack yet again playing a leader of men. He has great on-screen chemistry with William Holden as Commander Shears, with some great dialogue between them. Jack also gets to let loose with a Sten gun near the end of the movie, in one of the only of a handful of films where he handles a weapon directly. The Bridge on the River Kwai is often cited as one of the best war films of its period and regularly features on top 100 lists. It performed well both financially and critically, with Jack earning praise for his performance alongside the rest of the cast. Before we reveal our top Jack Hawkins war film, honourable mentions include Waterloo, The League of Gentlemen, Lawrence of Arabia, and The Guns at Batazi, to name but a few. A series of films that were shot during and after Jack's diagnosis of cancer of the larynx that forced him into taking smaller and often cameo roles in films after 1960. In this period, he was spurred back into the limelight by famous friends such as Peter O'Toole and David Niven, who helped the Hawk back into action. Much of his work in the later part of his career saw him being overdubbed in post-production, often by the actors Charles Gray and Robert Rarity. Our number one Jack Hawkins war film is of course 1953's The Cruel Sea, based upon the novel by Nicholas Montserrat. It's also a film that made the Hawk a star, filmed entirely at sea aboard genuine Flower-class corvettes and directed by Charles Friend. The Cruel Sea is not only one of the finest war films ever made, but is often cited as one of the best British films ever made. The lead role is Captain Ericsson, played by Hawkins. The film's producer, Sir Michael Balcon, recalled casting the role knowing there was only one man for the job. Even before the script was written, we knew it had to be Jack Hawkins. If he hadn't been free to play the part, then there wouldn't have been a film. Jack plays Ericsson with an outward toughness and resilience. A complex man, with emotions that are rarely portrayed on screen in British war films of its era. We see the duality of Ericsson in one of the film's most affecting scenes, and its aftermath, where he takes the decision to fire depth charges below shipwrecked men in the water around the corvette. The line, "Attacking, stand by," echoes around the ship, as men watch the depth charges explode, which send men out of the water and tumbling back down. Jack later records shooting the sequence in his autobiography. An extremely emotional scene, and the more I thought about the situation, the more upset I became, and the tears poured down my face. The film was a huge hit in the UK upon its release in 1953, becoming the most popular film at the box office. A truly great film with exceptional performances and a scale that is still as hard-hitting as it was upon its release in the early 1950s. Despite never earning a major film award throughout a near 60-year career, Jack Hawkins is fondly remembered as one of the British greats. You can hear more from us on our thoughts on some of his war film roles by using the links in the description below, or search Jack Hawkins over on fightingonfilm.com. For more war film reviews and videos, please consider subscribing or even supporting us on Patreon. You can listen to Fighting on Film wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, thank you.